Hi, are you looking for a job and it seems like a mystery to you what employers are looking for? There are 5 things that employers are really looking for. If you're looking at entry-level jobs or labor, call center, customer service kinds of jobs, there are 5 things that every employer really wants. And the first one is they need you to be there. They don't need Superman or Wonder Woman. They don't show up to work anyway because they're fictional characters. They need just somebody who will be there. I knew a guy who didn't speak English at all, and he wasn't the youngest, strongest, fastest guy, but his name was Rene, and they called him Everyday Rene, and you can guess why. He was there every day. And whenever he came back into town looking for work, he could get a job right away because they knew they could count on Everyday Rene. So first thing that every employer wants is they want to be confident that you're going to be there. How do they know that you're going to be there? Well, every recruiter is trained or has experiences to make them believe that the best indicator of future performance is past performance. And so hopefully you've stayed at jobs a long time in the past. And if you haven't, then I would focus in your interview talking about a job where you were there for a long time. I interviewed a guy once, and he, in fact, when I asked the question if we could do a background check, he said, he was instantly very discouraged, as you can imagine, and he looked down and he's like, yes, I have a felony. And then he used his hands and he pushed like a pretend window to the side. He said, that's in the past. He said, I've been a roofer for 2 years. I was a cook for 3 years. I'll be here all the time. I get along well with people. I just want a job. So I ended up being very impressed by what he said because he'd focused on 2 years at one job, 3 years at another job. He gets along well with people. I thought, wow, this guy seems promising. And he realizes that he did something dumb before, but we've all done dumb things, and so, we can let that go. And so if you've been in a job before for a couple of years, then focus on that. I interviewed another young man who his work history was completely blank. And he was like 21 years old. I thought, how could you be 21 and never have had a job? I said, haven't you ever had a job? And he said, yeah, but nothing worth putting down. Well, that made me really curious. I said, well, what's not worth putting down? And he said, I worked at McDonald's for 1.5 years. And I said, McDonald's for 1.5 years? I love McDonald's for 1.5 years. 1.5 years in a McDonald's probably means you learned all the equipment, and so you're trainable. It means you didn't steal for 1.5 years. It means you got along with a lot of coworkers and supervisors, some of whom probably weren't the easiest to get along with, for 1.5 years. You didn't get caught stealing. You learned all the equipment. You helped customers. You put up with a lot of things that were hard and challenging and boring, but you did what the employer needed for 1.5 years. I love 1.5 years at McDonald's. And he was surprised. He said, I never thought of it that way. Well, employers really like 1.5 years someplace. Now, if you have gaps in your employment, or you have been places for a very short period of time, then you better have a good explanation of why you changed those jobs. And if you can, avoid talking about those jobs and simply tell them, I will be there every day. I will do whatever you need me to do. And tell them about hard things that you've done in the past. That may convince them that they're looking at a hard worker who they can count on, and they may give you a try. But the first thing is, be there every day. All right? So when you get hired, be there every day. I hired a guy once from a manufacturing